Steve, Oliver, it has been so long past time since we last talked. We needed an update.
Yeah.
Everybody always loves to know what the Olivers are up to. What's happening? Last time I spoke to you, just moved into the new gym. And that was a big move over Christmas. So it was around the beginning of the year we last spoke.
Yeah. So the gym's going great. You know, the gym's doing well. It's a great new location.
Let's give that location. So Oliver's Gym, and it's
just
New
not too
Lynn.
far from KFC in Newland, 26 Veronica Street. So yeah, got a great kids program. Everything's going really well. Yeah, it's been a good year.
And let's never forget that through those horrific mandates, there'll be a lot of loyalty from parents because you kept your gym open for all those kids that were being mandated out and not able to do their sport.
Yeah.
Have you still got a big wave of loyalty?
Yeah, I mean,
from that?
you know, to be honest, there's probably, you know, a lot of the key people that are with us now are, you know, came through the mandates, you know, came through that time because it was a, you know, just a strange time where we, you know, formed quite strong relationships. So there's, you know, those relationships are still there. There's a percentage that have gone back, you know, to gyms that kicked them out originally. They've gone back there.
I don't know how you go back to a gym that kicks you out yourself. I just don't get
everyone
that.
to their own though, you know, maybe location or timing or whatever, you know, it fits into their lifestyle. So maybe they've, you know, come to that conclusion where they'll go back there. But no, the majority of the people there were loyal to us through the lockdowns, and now we've got a great clientele and just a good family vibe going there.
This is a really tricky subject, but I want to just canvass it because there will be people out there going through this. You had a very dear friend who recently committed suicide. And I know from talking to you that day after you heard how deeply cut up you were. The reason I'm bringing it up, Steve, is because I think there's a place for a message to people who are thinking in this crazy New Zealand that we've got, with all the pressures that have been ramped up since this government came to power. And I mean financial and losing friends and friendships and family and physical challenges. So much stress has come under the Labour government. There are people who think that's a way out. What would you say, having seen the chaos of a suicide to his young children?
Yeah, I mean...
do you want to say that down the camera, just to anyone who's thinking about it?
It's just a permanent solution for, you know, quite a temporary situation, you know, and everyone goes through hard times, we all do. And, you know, I just think you got to, you know, we're all been demasculising men and saying everyone needs a shoulder to cry on and all the rest of it. But to be honest, I think men just need to, you know, look around them and look who's looking up to them and understand their place in the family and in society, and they've got to, you know, they've got a responsibility to make it better for their kids, you know, and you know, pushing the eject button is not the answer for your kids, you know, or for your friends or anything. So we all go through tough times, and it is a tough time, you know, for people that you know, have seen the way the system will treat you and you know, turn their back on you in an afternoon if you don't comply, or you don't, you know, you're not the demographic they're looking to support or whatever it is, you know. But yeah, it is pretty, it can be quite rough, you know, and it's a bit of a tough time. I mean, just in society, it's COVID, even with the gym. I mean, you know, we've been sports-based. My whole life has been about sports, and it's just the COVID thing really decimated the gym's motivation, you know, just momentum as far as achieving goals and you know, people having a big picture, you know, like, you know, wanting to be a world champion or, you know, just big life goals. It's really decimated people's outlook on life.
Are you noticing that?
Oh, I have done for a while now, yeah.
And by COVID, do you mean the COVID pandemic, inverted commas, or do you mean the government response to COVID?
Just the response.
You're talking about the rollout of mandates.
Yeah,
and
mandates and just lockdowns and just fear-mongering and, you know.
Endless fear-mongering.
Yeah, just the whole thing, just, you know, it... people got still they've got anxiety about going out. Some people still haven't recovered properly. So we're doing our best to try and, just, with the tournaments, we run the tournaments and try and keep them going. So it's got, it gives people something to goal set and to look towards, So the tournaments are slowly picking up and getting back to their previous numbers now.
I came and saw one of your tournaments in the early days, and it was just after the lockdowns finished. And it was amazing seeing the kids, the self-discipline, the respect for your opponent, the bowing at the end, even if you've been hammered in the bout, you bow and get up and shake hands and go off as friends. Yeah. It's real character building stuff, isn't it?
It builds resilience, and that's where society's not developing any type of resilience. It's everyone gets a medal and, life's not like that, it's not real. People fail, you know what I mean? But it's not a death sentence, just because you fail, it's an opportunity to learn and to move on better for the experience, and just learn. Society's turned it all into a blame game.
Yes.
It's not my fault, it's someone else's fault. So they just, they really lose that lesson, because they don't really self-reflect. They project that disappointment onto some external factor which takes the lesson off them.
And more than that, we've got to stop looking for other people to save us, because when you look for other people to save you, you also give your power away.
Yeah.
Who would give your power away again to a government? I mean, this government's corruptions are now so obvious to most people.
Yeah. Politics is about representation of the people, and they just signed that away, and just they declared right there on the spot that it was just an in-house frat club up there. It wasn't about the people at all, as long as we get what we want and the people don't matter. So everyone who signed that gag order shouldn't be part of politics. So I got no time for it.
Totally agree. I mean, I know you, Steve. You are a man who you live the morality and the ethics you talk about. You've had that from your father. You've got a really clear sense of who you are and what is right and what is wrong, and you will speak out. Yes. How do you cope when you are feeling that exhaustion, that relentlessness of this kind of marathon?
Yeah.
Because it's like a deluge from the government of one crazy scheme after another at the moment.
Yeah.
I mean, even Nationals talking about GMO today. Let's push GMO on the people. Scientifically, it's fine. Well, we heard that about the jabs.
Yeah.
Scientifically, it's fine. I don't believe that anymore.
Oh, well, we didn't believe it from the start, did we? I
No.
mean,
How do you
very early on in the piece. I mean, even today in the paper, died suddenly, lady, and some school teacher somewhere in New Zealand died suddenly,
and they're pretending to be surprised. I wonder
well,
what it could be.
And then you see the reports of but it's nothing to do. It's that really makes was it false information? The conspiracy theorists, are at it again. But it's not. If it's happening all the time, where's the conspiracy, man? Just Google died suddenly, and you'll see it. Just globally, it's just unbelievable.
There's a powerful Facebook page, died suddenly in New Zealand. Yeah. It's just full. And
but where's the conspiracy? These guys make out all the facts are there. You just got to look at it.
Yeah.
And globally, all deaths, mortality is up.
Yeah.
Absolutely through the roof,
All-cause mortality, absolutely.
Yeah.
And, a friend said to me just today, he said, I look sometimes at mainstream media, mainstream news bulletins, and I feel they know they're lying.
Yeah.
And he said, I know they're lying.
Yeah.
So, but more than that, he said, it will really cost them when you know you're lying and you keep doing a job and you know you're telling lies now.
Well, selling your soul.
That's selling your soul.
Yeah, big time. I mean, in Germany and that, the media was held to account just the same as the guys actually flicking the switch. You know what I mean? They're the ones that set the climate.
They're keeping it going. Our mainstream media in New Zealand is keeping this government's lies going. Yeah. And I think more and more Kiwis are waking up to that. So they need to come over.
Yeah.
The ones who are wise will come over and start telling the truth.
Yeah.
But just for you, Steve, just getting back to that, I loved your call out. Think of your children. If you're thinking of ending things, taking that way out, don't. Think of your children. But what keeps you going when you're you know, a sick child, and maybe your wife's really stressed and you're carrying the business, and there's just a lot going on, and you've got this ridiculous interfering government, and you feel overwhelmed. What do you do to yourself? What do you say?
I mean, just you know, I just have more respect for my parents. You know, they've gone through the same thing. My great grandparents, they all went through hard times. You know, and you know, we're not here to quit, man.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel sorry for the guys that do. You know what I mean? And I can't, you know, comment because a lot of people hit. You know, there's chemical imbalances and everything. You know, there's a lot of factors out there these days, and people need to look after themselves. But I think staying fit, staying active, you know, trying to eat clean. You know, if you just get on this treadmill of eating processed food and fizzies and you know, this
Sugar
diet, this diet's designed to just decimate your body. You know what I mean?
And your mind.
Mentally too,
Sugar
you feel low, you feel depressed just eating that crap, you know. And we all, you know, life's busy, and sometimes we fall into a trap of just eating, you know, quick, eating what's convenient, but you do pay a price, you know. And I notice it after like 2 or 3 days, so I just stop eating. Usually, if I've been eating, you know, that sort of stuff, I'll stop eating for try and do a day or a day and a half of stop eating and
just have water.
And water and try and clean it up. You know?
That's a pretty cool hint. Yeah. That's a really good one.
I think because that's what happens when you fast, is your body gets rid of all the damaged cells first. Sort of like feeds on itself and gets rid of all the damaged cells first. So it's a good one just for a detox. It's just a fast, you know.
And even that bit of self-discipline lifts your self-esteem.
Yeah.
That's a really good hint, Steve.
Yeah.
So let's talk now about where you're at with the court case, because way back when we did that first interview and you had Worksafe coming at you, and heroic man that you are to so many Kiwis, you were saying, I'm keeping my gym open because it's like a community centre, and I can't have these desperate parents, desperate kids having nowhere to go. So Worksafe came at you. What was it? 12,000, 24,000, it got up to about $50,000 worth of fines. Total bullying, total government bullying. So what's happened with that court case?
Well, I mean, it's, you know, they what they try and do is they just try and
spread it out.
Yeah, it's all about appearances, you know. So every time you have an appearance, you got to pay more money. So they just try and bankrupt you with, you know, putting you in the system and putting you to the back of the queue. So. You know,
so what, you turn up to court and it's kicked down the road another 2 months?
Yeah, you got to go to court, you got to do an appearance, and then it's just some other date, you know, okay, appear at this date and we'll work this out. So we've had numerous appearances now, and...
it's designed to wear you down mentally.
Yeah, I think that's the game, eh? You know, they've got, well, you know, the country's got apparently endless money that they can use to you know, weaponise against its people. So... that's what they're doing. They're just been, putting us numerous appearances, and they don't even think they will get our court date this year now. It looks like it's going to be pushed into 2024. So,
well, that's after the election. You can get rid of the rotten government and get some things cleaned up.
Yeah.
Need to talk to you about that off camera. So are you managing to? I mean, I'm making light of it now, but are you managing to lighten things up, not take all of this too seriously?
Yeah, I don't really allocate too much. Probably it's not the ideal, you know, mindset, but I just don't allocate it any energy. You know, I don't really think about it too much.
Yep.
I know it's coming, and it'll be here. You know, it'll arrive at some stage, but you know, it's just trying to fund it, really. I mean, we've spent over around $50,000 on it now.
Oh, Steve.
Just for the, you know, just
for the lawyers.
Yeah, to this stage, and they reckon there'll probably be another 40. So we haven't got that. So I don't know.
You always say to me, it's not about the money, but I am going to ask, could everybody please put some money in to help Steve with this case? Because remember, taking on Worksafe is for all of us. And when he beats this, when he wins this case, it becomes a precedent. So Worksafe can't ever do this in the future. So it is, to me, Steve, your case is my case as well.
Yeah, it's just,
you're defending all of us.
You know, it's just at this time, everyone's got their, you know, financial burdens. It's not getting, the economy's not getting easier out there, you know. So we'll just do what we can do. We'll float it for as long as we can float it. And then if we just got to say, hey, I can't, financially we can't do it anymore, I'll just say, what are you going to do? I mean, okay, I'm guilty. Like, put me in jail for 5 months or whatever you got to do.
God, that would so backfire. You'd become a total hero. You are to many already, but if they martyr you like that,
I don't know what they'll do.
And people will hate Worksafe even more, which
but
most people...
the funny thing is that Worksafe was supposed to be the place that you would go to register workplace bullying.
And they became the bullies.
Yeah, and then they come and try and stand over us and try and tell us to close the doors to the kids.
What would you do if you were in government and you had all these ridiculous cases that were put out under that horrendous COVID response policy? What would you do?
No, I'd just wipe the whole lot.
So would I.
Yeah, it's just...
And I'd issue an apology.
100%. There'd need to be some comebacks. I mean, all those sports that mandated kids out of their sport at the time when they were locked at home with, potentially, not pleasant environments at home, you know what I mean? And then you guys, you sporting entities, go out there and mandate them out of their sport. So they've got to stay, they can't go out and have fun with their mates. They've got to stay at home in these, quite aesthetic family environments. I just can't believe these guys, man.
There's only one way to look at it. The more you dig in, it's like this government has wanted to break down the New Zealand society that we had, break us into these desperately disconnected, sad, broken people.
It's working.
Yeah.
It's working. There's so much segregation out there. Everybody's got a little cubbyhole they like to, scurry back into. And, and to be honest, talking about demasculising men, but it's actually the men that aren't masculine, that don't have the discipline, that are the ones that are all about the drama and the bickering online, and actually they are quite nasty. You know what I mean?
Quite bitchy and they're like the
vicious.
Yeah.
And violent. You see that poor lady that was just
Posey Parker.
Yeah. What was her crime? She doesn't agree with men and women's sports or men and women's changing rooms. So we paint her as a white supremacist or whatever. And
that was done by our media too.
Yeah. I mean, these guys are a joke, and then these demasculinized men come down and are absolutely just dogs, just smashing people over and attacking women and all that. Well, it's okay to hit women now, is it? As long as you've got a pair of high heels on, or you think that you're a woman. I don't get it, mate. You need to actually sit down and do some deep thinking to understand what these guys' reality looks like. But they are definitely the word for it's confused.
Yeah, absolutely. It's given that you've got these children you so love and you want to bring them up in a decent society. Do you see a way for us as a community to bring this back, Steve? I mean, some people say to me, Liz, these are the birthing pains. This is showing all the corruption in our society. From this will birth a much better community, a better New Zealand. I love that when I'm on my optimistic days. I think maybe the good people will rise up in vast enough numbers to take back our country. I
mean, what gave me hope was actually that, that little gathering down in Wellington when everyone went down there against the mandates.
The Freedom Village.
Yeah. That was awesome. That was the most beautiful community project I've ever seen, Just everyone came together, doesn't matter who, what colour you are, how tall you were, just no one cared. It was just, it was unreal, free food, free clothes, just, they were playing music there. It was just unreal. It was just, that's the kind of New Zealand I want.
I talked to the guy who organised food there, and he said farmers were turning up with whole beasts or half beasts and big trailer loads of fruit, and they just couldn't give enough. Kiwis all pulling together.
Yeah, and a big part of our future is our kids, And then, and this is part of the, the never-ending attack on decent society. Now, now you got to worry about what they're teaching your kids in schools,
Oh, that.
So just
what
endless.
are you getting with your kids? Are you?
Oh, we're very proactive with our schools.
And so, what are you saying?
Well, we're just saying, you know, what are you teaching? And if this is going to be a part of it, we were actually educating our school what was coming down the pipe before they even realised what was happening.
Well
you know?
done. This is all the gender stuff.
Yeah, you
Trying
know?
to say
Yeah.
that there aren't girls and boys. That you're all there.
Yeah. It's 100 genders, and
Yeah.
I mean, you know, what a hell of a thing to destroy someone's identity. You know.
Absolutely.
You know, that's,
And confuse young ones.
Yeah. Kids, you know, kids, man. I mean, it's just unbelievable. It really is, you know. So we're real proactive with our kids' schools, and if there's any of that, I won't hesitate to pull my kids out. Pride Week or whatever they're going to do, they're out. They're not coming. They're not going to school, and I'm going to make the school well aware of the reasons why they're not there too. You know.
Steve, it's always so refreshing talking to you because it's black and it's white. It's clear. It's like if only we had more of these men standing up. And there is someone who's going to come today, and I'd love you two to meet and maybe talk. We could do a second part to this interview, and that's Sunir, who was the public face for St. John's Ambulance until they just dumped him with the mandates. Never acknowledged all he'd done to get into his position, never acknowledged all he'd given, how hard he'd worked, and giving them his face to raise funds. Got rid of him in the mandates and then kept using his image. So we did that interview.
Yeah.
And so many Kiwis, actually quite a similar reaction to the ones to you, like brave man, brave truth teller, how disgusting how they're treating you.
Yeah, and I mean, for the place, you know, obviously that, you know, health, looking after communities' health, full of good people, you know what I mean? But obviously, you know, at the top of the food chain, it's all got other, you know,
Government agendas.
Yeah, you know, they're getting pushed a narrative, and if they don't, you know, play ball, they don't get the money, or it's all about the money, eh? Just follow the money.
What a price they paid to get wealthy and powerful, and even the corruption of a damehood for the woman who did this to this country, who's utterly wrecked our country.
And
What did you feel about that?
No, you just can't believe it's true with all the information that's coming out now about, you know, how actually unsafe and ineffective that injection was. And that she was actually, you know, the report that she held in her hand when she was, you know, when she was feeding that down the camera was, you know, was absolutely, you know, against what she was saying.
She has to have known that the Pfizer reports
the report, she
were
had
terrible.
it. She had it. It said that it only stops transmission for maybe 1 to 2 weeks, and it's absolutely there's no science to back it up. And
she was saying it was effective in stopping transmission day in, day out.
And mandating people out of their livelihoods and stopping, you know, parents being able to pay, you know, put food on the table, and stopping parents being able to access their kids, or, you know, kids access their parents in old rest homes and that, you know, and, or, you know, what was it, for our safety, was it? No, of course it wasn't. She had a report that said that none of that was true, so she's doing it for a paycheck.
For a paycheck, for power, for some kind of elevation in the world.
Brownie points to get a Daneship.
To get a Dane. People are taking the E off the Dane. Damn Jacinda.
Oh, she's done a number on the computer. I mean, New Zealand's a different place to when she went in.
Completely changed it.
Yeah.
But you know, someone said it's like the knighthood for Ashley Bloomfield, the damehood for her. It's like certificates of criminality. That's how he termed it.
Yeah, that's
a friend of mine, Rob.
Yeah, I mean, it honestly is. It's just these guys in power just got less and less connection with the people. You know? It's just like they are. It's just absolutely they are disconnected to reality. You know, and they're just feathering their own nests. It's more than obvious.
Yeah,
you know,
they've lost the one thing they probably most crave, though, the respect of, I'd say, most New Zealanders.
Oh, I don't know how they'd walk the street, you know what I mean? But that's for us to pay for.
I don't know, in the long run, I think they pay. And right now, we're paying a high price.
We pay for their security detail, though.
Do you believe we can bring New Zealand back, Steve?
Yeah, you have to believe, right? You have to believe for your kids, because it's our future, and, you know, I've got plenty of kids, so I definitely want to believe that we can bring it back, you know? It's just, I don't think it's technical, you know? I don't think it's too technical. I think we just got to get back to just old-fashioned values, man. Just treat each other with a bit of respect, have an open platform to discuss issues, and, like, and actually, you know, follow real science, don't just not paid science, you know. It's I don't think the concepts are too hard to get a grasp on, but they just try and you know, paint it in many colours and try and throw so many angles on it that confuses people, and they just give up, you know. But we just got to keep it basic, I think.
I just love the way you have this ability to cut through the bullshit. You just cut through it with the truth. It's so beautiful. And I'm asking again, I know Steve has not been asking me, but I'm asking for Steve and Chrissy, please, can you put some money in so that this legal case that he's taking on behalf of us all can go ahead? And if you can afford $20 each of you, that would be wonderful. If it's $5, it's something, but at least $20 if you can, that will keep this going, and we support. And if it's more than that, that would be great. Anyone who can put in a few thousand would be wonderful. Lawyers cost. But it's a really important case, and you're a very special person to a lot of Kiwis because of your truth-telling, Steve.
Yeah, it's just it's a exciting time to be alive, isn't it? Just waiting for the wins. I'm all about the wins, man. It's been few and far between, but they're happening slowly, you know. There's good people. There's a lot of good people that are working, you know, on the right side of things, and yeah, you know, it's interesting.
I think more and more, and one of those you're about to meet. We'll talk in the second part with Sinia.
Cool.
Thank you, Steve.
Good to see you.